What's up, everybody? And today we're going to be finally taking a look at the Endo series, Chica and Foxy. So before we get into the figures, of course, we have to take a look at the packaging. And the packaging is pretty much the same as Bonnie and Freddy, so there's not much to go off on. But there's the extra suits in the box there, too. Of course, on these sides you got Foxy and Chica. Nothing too crazy. Sides are also the same and everything. The backs are pretty much the same, except they do show Foxy and Chica on the back of their respective boxes. So there's really nothing much to talk about in terms of packaging itself, but there both of them are. Now that we've taken a look at the packaging, let's take a look at the endos. So, the endos. There's nothing new to talk about here. They're the same as the first endos. You got the same detailing and everything, the same speckled detailing and everything. They're pretty much the same. There's absolutely nothing new to talk about. Again, you with this one though, you get, of course, the you still get an endo hand, but I just put a little pirate hook on it, so you can have the pirate hook there. So this is like Foxy's. Of course, his just has yellow eyes. Both these endos are the same. Freddy was the only one that had like the black eyes and black mouth. But yeah, they're both the same. Chica has the purple eyes there. So there's really nothing to talk about in terms of the endos. Articulation, everything is also the same. But most of this articulation will go once we go into the actual suits. Now I won't do a build segment for this particular video, just because I did that in the first video. If you guys would like to see how they're put together, you guys can watch my first video on them. So I will just go straight into the figures. So I guess we'll start out with Chica. So here is Chica. Now there's things I like and there's things I don't like about Chica here. If you're wondering why the arms are so out to the side, that's how far they go up to. That's how far they go. That's one of my issues. The arms cannot go any further down. So she kind of just looks like this the whole time. Other than that, I think she's very accurate to the game. Extremely accurate, actually, and she looks really nice as far as build-wise goes. It's just those arms. I wish they would go down, but there's really not much I can really say. I really do like the paintwork for the bib there. She is a bit bigger than the others, which is strange and interesting. Um, and like everything else is pretty much the same as the other first two. But these calves here at the bottom are on the skinnier side. Then she has the obviously different feet and everything. The head sculpt is really great, very accurate. I'm not sure why she has top teeth on the beak there. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I might be wrong, but that looks really nice and everything. I really do like the way the eyes and everything sit in the headpiece and everything. Overall, I think it's a nice looking Chica. I just wish those arms could go down because it just looks a bit off and a little tad bit strange, at least to me. But anyway, that's it for the classic Chica. Nothing really too much to talk about. Other than I think the paintwork is very nice as far as the bib and everything goes. Overall, looks really great. But I think we can make her look just a little bit better, and just like the other ones I did. So let's give her a little bit of a fresh new paint job. And here we have regular classic Chica, all repainted up and looking a little bit better in a lot of cases. So basically what I did here is I just put a wash over her and then did up the eyes because a lot of people were mentioning in some of my comments from my last video that I should do eyelids. Um, I only didn't do them on Chica, but I did them on the others, and I'll show those too here. But I did the eyelids on the others, but not Chica, specifically because of her being in the withered Chica form. The eyelids wouldn't make sense, so I opted to not do eyelids on regular Chica here because of that fact. So Chica is the only one without the eyelids. But didn't really do too much. Just gave her a wash to match the others, dirtied her up, and made her look a lot better and everything. And um, yeah, so nothing really too crazy here. So we will probably just end up moving on to withered Chica. So here is withered Chica. Now, I think withered Chica was probably the best looking withered out of the entire set, just because she has all that dirt on her. So I won't have to wash her too much. She has really nice, dirt detail on the feet too as well. Uh, Amazing head sculpt and everything. The interesting thing too with Withered Chica is she can actually have her arms down more to the side, which is strange because Withered Chica is always having her arms out. I don't know, just a bit strange, but it's also weird having the mouth all the way up like that. So having it just constantly down makes more sense. She has these like wire arm things, and well, if you've seen what I do with Wither Bonnie, I'm probably going to be changing these out. So I will just go over that articulation point since this articulation point will be missing here soon. But it does have like a hinge on these wires and does swivel around and everything still too. Uh, and if you really wanted to, you could still have like the endoskeleton hands on here if you don't want the wires on, although it'd look a little bit strange. But yeah, overall, really nice look. She is a bit flat on the body, but I'm pretty sure that's how she was in the game anyway. Um, but yeah, the head sculpt, amazing. They did amazing on the head with all the depth in there and the eye, the like sunken in eyes and everything. I absolutely love how this turned out and came out and everything, and it's honestly a really really great looking withered Chica. Um, but of course, she needs some uh, extra paint just to make her go a long way and looking a whole lot better. So we're going to do that here and make her look a little bit better. So without further ado, let's upgrade her. And here is Withered Chica, fully upgraded and looking a whole lot better. Gone are those plastic wire arms and replaced with normal wires that are also painted with the red and blue respectively. Applied a wash over her and looking a lot better. So here are the wire arms and everything. They have also been hit with a wash too. Did the same thing to her that I did with Wither Bonnie. Just makes it a lot, better and everything. Did sacrifice the hinges on the wrists for the hands to make this work. Just the glue I was using was a little bit drippy and kind of dripped in there, so I decided to just completely make those static because she will be in a T pose anyway because it is Withered Chica. But uh, yeah, the eyes are pretty much the same, of course. On the inside of the head, though, it is going to be a little bit hard to see, but I will show it here. But I did the wires on the inside of the head. You can kind of see them through there, but I will take the head off real quick and show them. Again, just applied a very dirty wash on her to give her a much dirtier, withered look, and to make her look just a little bit better. Uh, so we will. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that, but just to show here, I did put the wires on the inside of the beak. Those were a bit of a pain to figure out, but I ended up making them work pretty well. And some of them were painted with red and blue to match and everything. Overall, she came out pretty well, and I'm quite happy with how the Chica actually came out and everything. But yeah, nothing too crazy, just a wash and the wires, and she looks a lot better. Now let's move on to Foxy, which both Foxys were a lot more involved. So, Foxy. Oh, what can I say about Foxy here? Now I like the way he looks. I think his sculpt is absolutely impeccable and amazing, but he has issues. and they're kind of glaring issues at that. Um, One of the issues is his feet. These are the Endo O2 feet, which are mainly used for withered Foxy. Um, I didn't have really much of a problem with that, because all the other animatronics, you swap the feet out anyway, but for Foxy, you don't swap the feet out. So having him have the Endo O2 feet, but it's the classic Foxy body with the Endo O1, and it just does not fit, in my opinion. And it just looks off, just very offset, off looking, and everything. Now I know it's probably like, oh well, they're probably like saving like minor thing, this and that. And I was like, okay, cool. But let me put this into perspective a little bit for you. So this figure was, the Foxy pack was the same amount of money as the other packs, right? The other packs got full suits. Foxy is only from the thighs up on both suits and everything. He doesn't have any other extra endo hand, and he just comes with the extra, the hook. So he actually doesn't have as many pieces as the others did, but he's the same price. So I feel like the least they could have done was at least given us an extra pair of feet that were more accurate to, FNAF 1 Foxy. I don't think that would have been too hard to ask. Um, so Foxy kind of falls short when it comes to that, uh, in that aspect, and that might bother some people. It definitely bothers me, but it might not bother some people, and that's fine. You know, but for me, it definitely does bother me a little bit. The other thing that bothers me, and that is a little bit off and a little bit uncalled for, and it's way worse with withered Foxy, but it's still bad here too. All these spots here, these brown sections, which are supposed to be hollowed out and withered, they're not. Um, and they do have the sculpt work that the endoskeleton is there, but it's not painted. None of it is painted. It's just this brown. Um, yeah, that is not good. And even on the shorts too, here you can see it, the sculpt work and everything. Those parts should all be hollowed out. And I was wondering, well, why does Foxy not have anything hollowed out? And again, it's worse with Withered Foxy when I show you Withered Foxy here. But apparently, I guess there's some law or something in the UK or whatever country, and that's why they didn't do it with Foxy, and I guess they just couldn't do that. And because if they did do the withering and everything, I guess he wasn't going to be able to be sold in those countries or whatever. But I mean, if that truly is the case, then literally, like, the UK just ruins everything. Like, literally, fuck. But anyway, um, the grievances aside, overall, sculpt is amazing. I love the sculpt. I absolutely think he has a really great sculpt. And being my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's character, I think they did really well with him, all things considered. The only thing one other thing I have issues with is he's not really supposed to be orange. He's supposed to be red. Um, I'm kind of like over everybody. Like every time there's a Foxy like item or anything, they're always making him like orange with the tan. I'll be fixing him up, color wise too here, but I don't know why everyone keeps making him orange when he was never really orange. I don't know. That's a Funko thing. Funko kept making him orange and everything for some reason, but anyway, that is it for at least the classic looking Foxy here. He keeps wanting to fall over. But that is it for the classic looking Foxy. Now I know we can fix him up, so let's go ahead and do that. And here we have classic Foxy all done up and looking a whole lot better than what he originally looks like. Now on camera, maybe it's not picking up too well, but he looks a little orange on camera. He's definitely a lot more redder. I applied a red to him. Now, both Foxys gave me a lot of issues when customizing them and everything. Uh, because a lot of things I wanted to change were a little bit difficult to change in some senses. A lot of it was cutting out the parts, and well, see, Classic Foxy didn't give me many issues. He was pretty easy. It's just the annoying part was cutting out all the parts and everything. The second annoying part was the eye patches, because I wanted the eye patches to have a mechanic where they could flip up and flip down. Unfortunately, when I tried to do that, the eye patches both on both Foxies kept coming off because of the glue. I guess wasn't too strong enough on such a small thing and whatnot. So what I opted to do instead is I have a second set of the heads and everything for Foxy. I will just redo the heads on both of them and have the eye patches down. And that will come in an update video for both Foxies, because I plan to do some extra stuff with Withered Foxy down the road, um, because there will be a lot of things coming out and everything. And I'll mention that when I talk about Withered Foxy. But as for the changes for Classic Foxy, I changed the orange to a more red because I'm kind of tired of them. I don't know why they keep making Foxy orange when he's really supposed to be red. So here he is, red, and I changed. It kind of looks like I didn't change it, but I changed the tan areas on him, on his snout and his body, to be more pinkish. On camera, it still looks a little bit tan, but in real life, it's definitely a lot more of that pink color that he had. Again, all the parts are cut out, so you can see all of the withering into the endoskeleton and everything there. And even towards the back, even though this was a very difficult thing to do, I decided to just hold it up with these metal kind of wires. The one side of the wire is kind of cut off, so I made that one bend a little bit, so that way it kind of looks like he's a bit, damaged and everything. I think that came out pretty well, and still, hollowed it out and made sure it showed the endoskeleton through and everything. The the shorts, or like the pants, are also hollowed out and everything, so you can see the endoskeleton through those as well. And then, obviously, moving down to the legs, I did change the feet out. I cut some old Funko Foxy feet, glued those on, sanded them as best as I could. I know it's not the best job, but I did as best I could because uh, FNAF 1 Foxy had the Endo 01 feet, while these Endos have the Endo 02 feet for some reason. And I just wanted to make sure it was accurate. I also painted his gold teeth, so he has his gold teeth uh, on his mouth and everything. I painted the little silver bits around the ears. And yeah, did a pretty good job, and at least I believe so. And then obviously the eyes have the eyelids and the white dots for his eyes to kind of light up and everything. And I think he came out quite well. And yeah, that is pretty much it for Classic Foxy. Just a couple minor changes here and there just to make them look a lot better. But now let's get into Withered Foxy. And here is Withered Foxy. Yeah, Withered Foxy kind of got the worst of it in terms of the whole law thing or whatever's going on. Because, I mean, Withered Foxy has a whole bunch of weathering, and none of it is cut out, and it just looks really, really weird and off with these colors and everything. And, like, there's, like, wires here on the front painted on his chest area, but then when you flip to the back, there's wires, but they're unpainted. Like, it just is, ugh. It does not look right. It looks extremely off. There's a lot of things that just look off, especially with these pants and everything, with the red painted endoskeleton. Like, what is going on here? And then, especially with the arms and everything, like, this is just, it is so egregious. And again, he's orange, and Weather Foxy's clearly red. I mean, Weather Foxy's more so this red, to be honest, if they did that, but nope, he's orange. And even with the side of the head taken out, they did that silver. Surprised they didn't do it in red, like they did everything else in red. And even the exposed endo on the arm areas aren't even painted. And oh my god, the I mean, at least um, the sculpt for this figure is amazing. I absolutely love the sculpt. I think the sculpt is great. A really great Withered Foxy sculpt. Actually, some of the best I've ever seen, to be honest. But I don't know. This the way everything came out to be is just really bad, and I don't know. I just hate laws and everything, but I mean, he does look nice. He got his eye patch there and everything, which is pretty cool. Um, Overall, again, nice sculpt. Just oh man, really needs some work, but he does have a separate hook. It is got a bit of like a dirtier paint job on it, and he does look nice. I mean, well, in terms of sculpt, he looks nice, but when it comes to the actual, you know, paint work and everything going into this, he really did not fare the best, and it's a shame because he's my favorite character, but well, and also my favorite look for Foxy. But you guys know me, I have to fix it. I just have to, and I have to make him look better, and that's what we're going to do, because we have a big job ahead of us with this guy. So, without further ado, let's fix him up, and let's make him look 10 times better. And here we have Withered Foxy.
That's really impressive. Whoa. Whoa, just. Whoa. Bravo. Wow.
Let me tell you, doing Withered Foxy was a pain. A pain in the you know what, because, I mean, doing Withered Foxy was so difficult, so agitating, so irritating, it literally had me feeling like this.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
And he was just so difficult to do, so, I mean, alright, he frustrated me so much I was cursing at him, but anyway, uh, cutting out all these parts for both Withered Foxy and normal Foxy, the things that I use as far as cutting them out was I used a Dremel tool, but a lot of the attachment I used was a small circular spherical drill bit. It's really small. It's kind of hard to see, but I used this for a lot of the small areas. I used a bigger kind of spherical bit right here to get a lot of the bigger areas. And as you can see, my fingers and everything, and like my nails and everything is all kind of sorts of messed up and everything because of this. I even hurt myself in the process of trying to cut these out. I also used a rotary tool for some areas, and then for smoothing out some areas, I used this kind of like little cone sander thingy. So that's a lot of the materials that I used as far as like cutting out and everything. And I also used an X-Acto knife to kind of shave off some areas and make areas a little bit cleaner. I'm happy with how he came out, but the process to getting there was so annoying. And like I said, there was just lots of issues. So I'll go over the issues of like making him and making him better too as well, and I'll just talk about what I did. So a lot of the problem areas were really honestly these little metal rings. Those were a bit irritating to deal with because I wanted his endoskeleton to show like how it does in the game, and I tried to do as accurate as possible. I know some rings are probably missing within the withered spots, but it was difficult to try and get these in there as is, so I tried to get it as nicely looking as possible. I think it came out pretty well, but obviously it's a bit of a harder design to do. But some came out pretty well. This one's a little bit on the lopsided on this forearm here, but other than that, everything looks pretty good and pretty decently done. It's a really hard design to do. Like, in all honesty, like I was having a hard time. I was stressed out making this thing, but I'm honestly happy with the result, and it looks so much better. Um, a lot of the hard areas too, as well as of course the eye patch gimmick I was trying to achieve. It didn't quite work, so again, I have an extra head, and I'll just you know do a lot of things I did with like cutting out the side of the face and everything, and I'll just do that with that head, so that way he has a flip down eye patch feature. There's a lot of things that I want to do with this Withered Foxy because Endo 2 here is coming out, so I will be doing a foot replacement for him to make give him a little bit more accurate feet, and a hand replacement. Um, but that will be in a update video when Endo 2 drops spring of next year. So be tuned, or stay tuned, because Withered Foxy is not yet fully finished. Just a couple little small things just to upgrade him a little bit better. But as far as is, he is done. Um, I'm really happy with how the withering came out. You can pretty much see right through him and everything. Try to make it as clean as possible. I noticed I did see a lot of people, cut their Foxies and everything like that. And they always cut this front piece out, which that's actually supposed to stay there. That's part of his, body withering. So I kept that there and everything. And then, going around towards the back, you can see a little bit more of like the withering and everything that I've done to it. And, doing these like arms and forearms were like the hardest thing to probably do. These were very difficult. The biceps were decently okay, but it's mainly those forearms and everything. The head, I did do the cutout, and I put the wires there too. And then the ear, I glued to the endoskeleton frame, and I put the necessary details on that endoskeleton ear as it needed to be and everything. So everything's pretty accurate as far as things are all considered. The wires underneath the torso too as well, with the red and blue ones at the back. And then I'd have the wires coming out of the legs too as well, which those are hollowed out, so you can see the endoskeleton through those as well, all around. And then obviously it's just the endo legs at the bottom and whatnot. You can see the endo through pretty much every withered part of him. And again, I did the little silver trim around the ear and everything. Made sure he was pretty accurate as possible. Did the same paint techniques with the red and the pinkish kind of like tan. Even though it's showing up as a normal tan on here, it's definitely pinker in real life. It's just because of my lighting and everything. But I did do the eyelids and the white dots for the eyes. Same thing as I did with all the other animatronics, which I will show here when I do comparisons and stuff. But yeah, Foxy came out pretty well. I actually do quite like this withered Foxy now. Did a lot of cutting out all those withering sections and everything. And honestly, I think he looks a whole lot better now that he's all customized and everything. Such a difficult process to go through and do, but honestly, the end result is just so worth it and just so much better. I'm so happy I did this. And yeah, I mean, I hope you guys do enjoy the work that was put into these because it was such a pain, but they do look really nice. Now, here's the part where I usually talk about articulation and whatnot, but it's not a whole lot to go through. But I do want to talk about Withered Fox's articulation because there's a little bit of differences with him. The others are pretty much the same. So, if you're familiar with the Endo series figures, the articulation is a little bit limited when the suits are on compared to the Endos on themselves. But Withered Foxy here at least has a little bit more articulation. I just did want to mention that his waist is now more articulated, so he can like crunch forward pretty far and backward a decent bit, and then do a lot of side to side. So he's very articulated. Same thing with his arms. His arms are pretty much like standard for the most part, and everything. So not a whole lot changed. Obviously, you do get full range in the legs, like the endoskeleton legs, at least a little bit. But there's not a whole lot that really changed in terms of the articulation, except for mainly that waist, because that waist is a lot more articulated now. Originally, I wanted to try and do a ball joint in the neck for Withered Foxy here, so that way I could do like the have him move his head a little bit more. But that proved to be a little bit too difficult, and I was going to end up just ruining the figure, so I opted out of that. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But let's just get straight into a post test. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little pose test. I have them in the withered looks right now because I love the withereds and this is how they're going to be displayed. So we're going to be doing the size comparison. So first off, I'm going to just kind of compare them along with some other figures just to kind of see, what they, look like and everything like that. So first off, here they are next to an SH Figure Arts figure, that being Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So that's how they look next to Figure Arts. And then moving on, here they are next to a tried and true Marvel Legends 6-inch scale figure. So there they are next to animated Spidey there. And then moving right along, we'll have them up next to their, respective McFarlane versions as well. Released Chica. So there's Withered Chica right there. And then here is the Withered Foxy. Withered Foxy being a custom one, of course, so that's what they look like next to their McFarlane figures. And then, moving right along, we'll do them next to the toy animatronics. So we get our full, pretty much almost full FNAF 2 cast going, or at least almost full cast. I feel like this scaling is somewhat accurate because I feel like the where the animatronics were probably a bit bigger than the toy animatronics and everything. Then again, there is the Endo O2 coming out. Then, of course, there's Mangle. Of course, there is the Endo O2 coming out. Mangle is kind of blocking Withered Foxy there, but let me try and maybe just move Mangle to the back a little bit. But there you go. But there is going to be the Endo 2 coming out, so I'm assuming those will be the toy animatronics that we will be getting from those Endo 2 packs, and I'm honestly pretty excited, but I'm also interested what would the second suits be for the Endo 2. I'm actually quite interested in to see like what that's going to be. Uh, but other than that, I'm gonna go into a little bit more, small little, just figure only comparisons with each other, and then we'll pretty much go into some, final thoughts and everything, and we'll wrap up the video. But before that, here's the pictures that I did edit for my Instagram, and there's the Instagram too as well. If you guys would like to check out and follow my Insta for more action figure pictures and everything. But yeah, so let's do just a couple more little comparisons. And next up for scaling, here is all the classic animatronics next to each other, and they look absolutely amazing. Again, here I have Freddy with his, painted eyes. I did his first. You can kind of tell because it's not really all that great. I didn't apply any sort of coat of paint or anything on them because I want you guys to decide if these eyes for Freddy and Bonnie are good or not. I feel like Bonnie's came out a little bit better than Freddy's. Freddy's definitely feels like it needs a little bit of work. But I have both of their eyes done. Foxy's, I think, came out really, really well. Chica, I didn't do the eyelids just due to the withered Chica suit and everything. But here these guys are, and they honestly look really nice all together. It's so nice to have the full Five Nights at Freddy's cast going on here. I cannot wait for more of them. And I did want to mention too that you can kind of do the whole Joy of Creation Ignite animatronics too as well, and they do look pretty nice. All things considered, I quite enjoy these. I couldn't do it with Foxy because one of his eyes did end up being glued into the endoskeleton by accident, so that happened unfortunately. But it still is nice to kind of have a little bit of an Ignite animatronic thing kind of going on here. And for the scaling and everything like that, I did want to get a group shot of all the withereds next to each other, and this is beautiful. I'm I really love this, and these just look so nice together. I'm so happy I have a full group of withered animatronics that just look absolutely amazing and just perfect and just honestly beautiful. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is them. So I just want to get a little group shot of them in here, so you can see how they pretty much scale with each other and everything, and they look really, really, really great. Um, and with that being said, and that's pretty much the end of the video. I hope you guys loved and enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Before this video ends, I do want to give my final thoughts on these figures. So starting with Chica, I think overall her sculpt is great, really great looking. It's just a shame her arms cannot go to her side, so she's kind of limited when it comes to posing, at least around the arm area, which is kind of important. So I couldn't really do too much with her, and plus her head with the beak and everything, it's a little bit limited, but she looks great. As for classic Foxy, amazing. More articulation than all the others. Absolutely looks amazing when you wither everything and you paint him up real nice and get him just to look really great. He has full range of articulation in the legs and a little bit more so in the torso and arms and everything. And he just looks really, really, really great. I absolutely love this Foxy so much. I'm so happy that I have a really nice looking classic Foxy. And then having all the animatronics together for the classics, it just looks so nice. As for Withereds, starting with Withered Chica, I think she looks pretty great. Definitely needs some of the upgrades that I gave it, or her, just to look a little bit better. And that wash just, I don't know, something about the yellow just takes to the wash so easily and a lot better than some of the other colors and everything. And it just came out looking really dirty and grimy and absolutely what I wanted. And she's a lot more articulated than classic Chica, so I'm definitely happy about that. Jaw could have been a little bit better. As for Withered Foxy, man, oh man, did it look so bad before I upgraded him and made him look a whole lot more accurate and better. And now I just love him. He's by far my favorite Jazwares figure now, and he just looks so nice and desperately needed those parts withered out and upgraded and everything. I'm still upset that some things didn't pan out the way I wanted it to, but overall I'm still happy that I have a full set of Withereds and they look so nice with each other, Foxy being my favorite and everything. But that's pretty much it for this video now, and here's the Ignite animatronics too as well, but I'll catch you